Hey guys, Howard here. Today I'm doing a very quick look of the Timex Q GMT. I mean, if you follow watch, you know, this one is a reissue of the original Q back in the 70s, but the original Q didn't have a GMT complication. So this is a GMT version. I think it was introduced, came out early 2022. It was sold out right away because people kind of love the design. And most importantly, it's affordable, right? Sure, it's not a mechanical watch, it's a quartz, right? But it's affordable. It's a 199 with a rubber band, and this one with a steel band is 219. And if you go to Timex website first time, you can even sign up to get a 10% off. But it's sold out again after restock become available maybe a month ago. It's sold out again. So on the website, there's this Pepsi design, there's a black one, and on other website there's another Batman design. So 3 total different designs. If you're looking for a cheap, affordable, fun watch, you know, this might be it. I mean, nothing fancy. You know, it's got I believe the Ronda 50524 movement. It's a collar or office GMT, meaning this hour hand. You cannot just adjust the hour hand when you travel. I mean, that's why it's called an office collar GMT. The true traveler's GMT, when you travel to a different destination, you just pull out the crown, you can adjust this hours hand right away. For example, you go from LA to New York, you just move just 3 clicks, it's done. This one you cannot, you have to move the minutes in order to move the hours. Yes, you can adjust the independent 24-hour hand, that's not a problem at all. So overall, you know, it looks like the Rolex. I mean, there's no doubt it kind of looked like the Rolex Pepsi. You got the blue on top, red at bottom, but it's, you know, the actual color of the blue and red, it looks more like the older Pepsi. It's a little bit darker. In the camera, the blue and red looks a little bit brighter. But you know, the round index, it's like, you know, triangle, it's a copy of Rolex. But one thing about the quotes is they're very accurate, but there's always a little bit of issue in terms of the second hand. Is it matching the minute track exactly? I mean, depending on the angle you're looking at, what I've noticed for this particular one, on the left side, it matches pretty perfectly, but on the right side, it's off a tiny bit. That's a common issue with a lot of these quartz watches. I mean, I don't know, you know, for people who's picky about it, you may not like that too much. But, you know, overall, it's pretty nice design. Simple, you got the GMT hand with a red arrow here. The black one with a dark gray bezel and the light gray bottom bezel has a full red hand, but this one has a regular kind of like a silver arm, just a red triangle. You know, you can rotate a bezel, but there's no click. It's just a smooth rotation, no sound, no mechanical feel, nothing. So 38 millimeter case, not very big. I think lug to lug is 44.25. It's pretty interesting design. You see the end? It's very different from traditional lug design. And I think the thickness was pretty thin, 12.5. And primarily because of this domed glass on top, right? That's why it makes it a little bit thicker, top to bottom, 12.5. Let's look at the case. It's polished pretty much on top, a little bit more of a brushed at the side. You know, the thing about the bracelet is it's actually, it's no longer the hair pulling old design. This one actually looks like a mini Jubilee. They call it a 3-link design. You know, if you look at the side, it's actually not too bad. I mean, it doesn't look too bad at all. I mean, the thing that's a little concerning is this lock here, this buckle here, this 2 pieces here looks really, it's just like a stamped, cheaply made. I feel like it could break, you know, any time. But once you lock it, it feels pretty secure. The back is pretty simple. So it's a Swiss movement because it's Ronda. You know, it says at the bottom, Swiss movement, but it's, you know, assembled, I think it's assembled in China. Oh, there you go. And with a little, I think, battery compartment for you to change battery. Let me put this watch on my small wrist to see how it looks. Okay, my wrist is small, 6.5 inches, 16.5 centimeters. 38 looks very comfortable. It looks pretty good actually. Not very thick. Again, it's the glass on top that adds the extra millimeters. Actually, very nice. The bracelet is very comfortable. I mean, for $199 for the rubber, but this is $219 with 10% off. It's $200 watch in the U.S. plus tax. I mean, it is pretty interesting and fun watch to wear if you just want a beater. One thing to notice is because of the design of the bracelet, so it kind of sits underneath this little end of the, let me take it off, maybe look a little bit closer. It sits underneath the case, you see that? So the actual spring bar width is only 18, but the actual top of the bracelet width right here, left to right, is 21. So that's, it's got a quick release. So if you're gonna get a aftermarket, band, you're gonna have to make sure you realize the actual width of the spring is 18, but out here it's up to around 21. But this tucked in design looks interesting, kind of sits underneath it. I don't know how I feel about that. It may take, like this is what I was more expecting, but you can see it like this. It may take a little bit of time to get used to. But, overall, it's kind of, pretty legible, matte black, very legible for $200, I mean, there's a new Seiko 5 mechanical. If you want the slightly more fancy one, the Seiko 5 mechanical GMT, again, it's office collar GMT, not a traveler's. I think that one's around $550. But for $200, I mean, what can you get for a GMT? It's a fun piece for the summer. All right, hope you enjoy. One last detail is the little Q on the crown. Very neat. All right, this is the Timex Q GMT reissue 2022. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.